Howdy, folks. How do you not know who Lee Majors is? Let's test it. Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the Test Press. My name is Brylan May, and today we have a very, very, very special guest. He is a screenwriter known for Jessica Jones and a recent short film that came out called Good Daughter. And, of course, my good friend and former strike partner, comrade, yeah. Jesse Harris.
Hey, thanks for having me, bud.
No problem, man.
As a fan of both you and the podcast, it's exciting to be on, man.
Yeah, it's I've been wanting to branch out and get some not only musicians but people who do some other creative stuff, and then also just are general music fans, which you are. I actually believe that's how we bonded at first on the picket line. Was we started talking about music and stuff. So this is awesome. How you doing today?
Buddy, it's pretty nice. I wish it would stop being so hot in Los Angeles. It is my least favorite thing. I hate being hot.
Really?
How I hate it so much. I'd been in Boston before this.
I didn't know that.
I lived in Boston, and so the winters were just too much for me there. But now I realize just my aunt would always be like real cranky whenever it would get summertime, and would just crank the AC all day long. And I've got that part of her in me as well, because now I'm just finding myself constantly being way too hot at all times.
Yeah, I've always ran hot as well. My mom is the same way. Anyway, Ohio gets very hot, which you would know because you grew up in Kentucky.
I did. I grew up on the other end of Central Appalachia. You're kind of at the top of Central Appalachia, and I'm at the bottom. I think it's not just hot, but so humid. We got that nice little rainforest effect over there, where I remember the first time my wife went to Harlan and was so amazed at it's 85 degrees because it was the summer, and it's 80% humidity, and she's like, you're just wet when you step outside. It's crazy. Yeah, that's it. It was a revelation to me, coming out heat, the dry heat, it's not the heat, it's the humidity. It's out here I can wear jeans and it be 70 degrees or 75 degrees and I'm fine. But in Eastern Kentucky, you wear jeans at 75 degrees and you've soaked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Although I feel like it's kind of concerning. I feel like it's starting to get like that out here in the summer too, which is probably not good.
Yeah. I don't God, it's muggy today, and looking down, it's it's 65% humidity. No, that's not the deal.
No,
that's not what I agreed upon when I moved out here.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It's but anyway, we're all going to die in 10 years from global warming. That's okay.
That's it.
We don't have to get used to it for that long.
No, it's going to fall into the ocean, and it's not going to affect us because none of us in our generation is going to own homes or property, and so it's not like we got that much to lose anyway.
Exactly.
We can pack up and go real easy.
Exactly. So you grew up in Kentucky. My great grandmother was actually from Kentucky.
Yep.
I forget which part, but Kentucky is wild because there's Lexington is there's legit cities, and then there's spots where there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's I've never really seen that anywhere else to that degree, honestly.
Yeah, it's Lexington's a great city. Kentucky as a whole is a weird place because it's kind of like three separate regions all crammed into one, because you've got Appalachia, which is its own very particular kind of culture. Then you've got Central Kentucky, which all feels very gentry Southern. And then you've got Western Kentucky, which is very Midwest. And so you've got these three regions, all of them don't particularly get along, and they all hate Eastern Kentucky. And so no one, it's a thing that comes through a lot of my writing of no one dislikes people in Eastern Kentucky more than people from Central or Northern Kentucky.
Yeah.
It is that stigma of really making sure, we've got to show everyone that we're not the backwards rednecks like you all. So we're really going to put on airs, and we're really going to make sure that we don't appear that way to distance ourselves, because the rest of the world thinks we're just a bunch of shoeless hillbillies. Like, that's it. And so, like, when I explain that, people are like, "Oh, really? I thought just all Kentucky like had that same pride that you do about the region." It's like, "Oh, no. Most people where I'm from don't have the pride."
Right? Like,
It's that thing of like, most people, the moment they leave the hills, do everything to lose their accent. And
I've known some Kentuckians that, like, my friend dated this girl, and when she talks just like, normal Midwestern accent, and then when she would talk to her mom, she had her Kentucky accent, and I was just like, why? Like, it was very jarring. Like, the first time I heard her, like, call her mom.
Well, like, even like, I'll do that to some extent, because one, I don't necessarily want to have that conversation with everybody I talk to, because if they hear the accent, well, where are you from? And like, well, I don't really want to go down that road with every person I bump into. But like, my wife really, she'll point it out of like, whenever you talk on the phone to your dad specifically, like, you hit a different gear that then becomes even difficult for me, who lives with you, to understand what you're saying.
Wow. Yeah, I do that a little bit. I've noticed with my mom, like, I'll like, some hems instead of him will come out. But I don't think I do it to like an extreme. I have had people here, by the way, I'm sure you've experienced this, are obsessed with Southern accents. Like you just said, like, if you have a little bit of an accent, they'll immediately be like, "Oh, where are you from?"
But what I love about Los Angeles, it's never from a place of judgment. It is from a place of curiosity.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, because it's this town full of like immigrants from other places.
Yeah.
Like, if you are creative in some weird little place, there is no Los Angeles culture, but you can come and find your little pocket of whatever the thing is, whatever you are, you can find your little place out here. And so, like, when, like, you speak to people out here and they, like, catch that, it's not, like, again, I used to live in Boston. Like, living in Boston, it is very much a judgmental thing.
Oh, yeah. Where the fuck are you from?
Well, as I always described it, like, people in
they say the N-word.
Yeah, people in the Northeast are they're so open-minded, they've looped all the way back around to being closed-minded. In that they're like, we know everything we need to know. We are very progressive people. End of book. We don't need to learn anything else. And they don't leave the region. Like, it's people who have lived in, like, within 50 miles of the same place for like 300 years. And so, like, I remember very distinctly one time having this conversation at a party there was another friend of mine who was from Kentucky, and we were at this party and we were talking about Keeneland. The horse track was getting ready to open back up. We're like, oh, I miss going to Keeneland. I miss doing that. We were just talking about fun fall activities. And this person from up there was like, listen to you backwards people talking about all your Kentucky stuff. And I was like, now hold on a second. Like,
wait, did they really say that?
This
well, they didn't say backwards, I assume.
This is to your face, as this was said to me. And I was like, let me ask you something. Where did you go to college? And he said, someplace like literally 15 minutes down the road. I'm like, okay. Where did you grow up? Someplace 15 minutes in the other direction. Where do you live now? Okay, so in your entire existence, you haven't moved more than 30 miles in any direction.
Yeah.
We are two people who are currently 1,200 miles from where we're like, now which one of us would you say is more worldly? And that shut him up real quick.
That's actually a good angle. I've never thought about that, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because like, it's one of the things that like I constantly have to bring to my writing is, like, if you are from New York, you don't have to put an angle or a spin on anything you write, because there's enough of a base around you of people who go, that's exactly like what my experience growing up was. But when you grow up in a place like Appalachia, in a place that's not within the mainstream, you really have to, like, let me walk you through what this world is like. Let me tell you how this world is like. And so you're constantly having to find, like, shortcuts to get from where you are to where your audience is.
Yeah.
And that's just a thing that other people don't concern themselves with. And so for me, it was really something that, like, I probably did too much early in my writing career of being like, oh, I don't want to just tell Appalachian stories. I want to show that I can do
Other
every
stuff.
other
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And slowly just started walking that back to where now, like, everything I write, I said in Appalachia.
Yeah, I feel like it always, like, in, you know, and this is similar to music as well. It's like, I feel like you do always come back to your roots in a way.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, because, yeah, everyone goes through that of like, oh, I want to do something, even if it's not just about like where you're from, just in general, like, oh, I got to like get away from my thing. But then I feel like always, or at least I think the most successful artists find a way to like do a blend of the two.
100%.
You know, where you're like, I want to talk about new things and explore new things, but also incorporate, you know, my base, like what made me want to do this in the first place.
100%. And I think coming from, like, specifically coming from Appalachia, like, as I always say, it's a place spoken for and not from. Like, American media is obsessed with the region.
Yeah.
Like, you think about, like, post Trump won, when the New York Times was sending somebody out to some diner in West Virginia every week to find out, how did Trump get elected? And it's like, 75 million people don't live in Appalachia. Like, you can't look to us to explain it. You're New York. You made this idiot. Don't put it on. Don't put it on.
No, that's true. Yeah, it's like, I feel like, because after Trump won, I feel like it was a little bit less with Trump too, but like especially Trump 1, there was this like massive blame game going around of like who did it, and then of course it landed on Appalachia. It's like, oh, surely it's these like backwoods, like toothless racist, you know,
and it's they this town will constantly tell stories about Appalachia, and at no point will those people ever who are telling the stories ever be from that place. And it doesn't matter if it's Justified, it doesn't matter if it's Them That Follow, it doesn't matter if it's Dark Waters, it doesn't matter if it's Hillbilly Elegy. Like, none of these people are from that. Like, the screenwriter who did the Hillbilly Elegy adaptation was the same one who wrote The Shape of Water. And so it's like,
very authentic movie to Appalachia. The Shape of Water.
Three-dimensional.
I also fucked a fish person growing up.
100%. Like to Hollywood, a three-dimensional Appalachian is just as realistic as a fish person.
Yeah.
And it's
And
so, like, for me, everything that I do, like, I try to, like I said, plant my flag in. This is who I am. These are the stories I'm telling. So if you're going to tell one of these stories, I'm going to take away the excuse for you. We don't know. I don't know anybody who does this. I don't know anybody from the region who can tell this story. It's like, no, you will know that I am here. I will make sure my reps know that they will tell you that I am here. Because I'm not going to let that be an excuse for you. Because there is no Appalachian caucus. Like, there is no group within the WG. It's me. Like, I know of like 2 other like writers from the region.
I mean, there's not a ton of creative. Well, I mean, there are creative people that live there, of course. But I mean, like, in the industry, quote unquote, there's not a ton of us.
And there are so many creative people in the region. But once you leave that region, people really want to shoehorn you into, do you do bluegrass music? Like, no. Well, then we don't have anything for you. Like, your avenue
if you don't want to be a token, basically,
100%.
Then we don't care what you have to say.
Yeah. And even something like I think I've told you about my cousin's punk band. Like, they've got Lips, which is a great punk band, but it's a punk band from Appalachia. And it's like, they hit so many roadblocks just by being like, this is not the thing that it's supposed to be, so I don't know about this. And it's like, if you're not presenting it as what they're expecting it to be, people from outside the region they're not interested, or they don't know how to approach it. You know, personally, I think that all goes back to, like, this town is very good at telling some type of stories, but they're really, really, really bad at telling any socioeconomic stories.
And for sure.
And to address that is to make the people in charge address maybe their role in some of what they've done socioeconomically. Like, you think back a few years ago to the Pay Up Hollywood movie, you know, that my friend Liz Alper was like at the front pushing for, and it's like, they don't want to see, like, they want to be seen as progressive, when it comes to race, when it comes to sexuality, when it comes to gender, when it comes to money. Oh, well, no, we're the good guys in all these other things. We can't be the bad guy in this thing.
Exactly, yeah. They use that as a cover almost to like, oh, well, it's like I have a black friend, so like I don't have to like, pay
I don't have to pay my assistant at all.
Right.
Yeah.
I can scream at my assistant.
Right.
I have trans friends. I'm not a bad guy.
I went to a Hillary fundraiser just last month.
Exactly,
I cannot pay my assistant a living wage. This is okay.
Yeah. No, it's so insane, and it's like the hypocrisy of, and I think that's why, like, because LA and New York always say, because they obviously have a lot of disdain for Appalachia and places like that, and then they say, oh well, they hate us too, and it's like they kind of have some okay reasons. It's like when you talk shit about them constantly in the media, and then when you portray them in any kind of art, they're like these like toothless racist idiots. And it's like, who has a better reason to hate who here? You know what I mean?
It was a thing that I constantly would run into anytime I was in a writer's room. And this happened in every room I was in, that I would hear some sort of shoeless joke, no electricity joke, and the classics, the classic redneck stereotype jokes. And I would get hit with those, and then immediately I would get but why do they vote against? I don't mean any of these things, but why do your people vote against their own interests? Yeah. And so it would become this constant thing of people like playing these tropes, but then like, oh, but I don't really mean that. I kind of mean that, but I don't really mean that. And then I would constantly have to be explaining like, well, Eastern Kentucky in particular, as you know, was at the forefront of the labor movement for most of the 20th century.
Yeah.
Like they were like the coal miners in Eastern Kentucky
were the backbone
backbone of getting us Labor Day, of getting us a living wage, of getting us OSHA protections.
The weekend and all of that stuff,
And constantly these people were being left on their own to fight. And so like when you spend 60 odd years of making incremental successes with very little support from the outside, and when the outside did turn their lens on you, it was to be like, oh, look at these poor hillbillies back here. What can we do to? It's either let's laugh at them, or oh, look at their poor little souls. What can we do to lift up this poor shoeless child from nothing? And because they can't help themselves, so we coastal elites must come in here and elevate them. They don't know any better, and so it was either one of two polar opposite looks at the region.
And it was the same with the opioid epidemic.
Yes.
It's like, they essentially let the Sackler family basically nuke this region of America. And of course they got off scot-free because our country works very well. And then there was almost this blame on them for that happening. Yeah. And it's just like, and that's the part that like really broke my, like, oh, well, like, these people are like so depressed and like, so like, but it's like, okay, well, even if that's true, why are they like that? Is it because maybe like every decision this country has made in the last several decades has like completely economically devastated this region?
Something I just read recently.
This is a music podcast.
We'll get there.
Trust me. We'll get there.
One of the things I read recently was talking about how when we moved away from coal, there was, particularly on the left, there was a quick acceptance of we must pay attention to climate justice, and not thinking about the socioeconomic justice that that these people who have relied on these jobs.
There's this other side of it that has to be addressed.
We have to make sure that these people aren't going to get left behind. And so like that was like, again, to go back to Hillary, that was the death knell of we were going to put every coal miner out of business. Now that was not or make them unemployed. That was not the end of the quote. The quote went on to be like, and then we're going to get them new jobs in green energy and clean. Like, but it doesn't matter what you say after that, because what you've said up to that point is we're going to put and so now it doesn't matter. But it's that last part of like this, without these things, we've got to make sure we're bringing in other jobs. We've got to make sure we're diversifying the industry.
If you're creating a new future, you have to bring everyone with you.
particularly the people who, again, were supplying the coal for the steel that made sure the country got built, that were at the forefront of the labor movement. And you can't just leave those people behind because you don't want to pay attention to them anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what this country, you know, I mean, ever essentially since, well, I mean, they've really been they were trying to turn back the clocks ever since right after the New Deal. But like really obviously starting with Reagan, you know, the attitude became, okay, well, you know, fuck everyone who's not a rich, you know, elite, college educated person with a good job. You know, we're going to create this society for everyone else, and then, you know, the broke losers can just, you know, go die in a hole. Anyway.
Yeah.
So country music.
Country music. Yeah.
Obviously, you know, growing up, you know, stereotypes are repeated because sometimes there's some truth to them. I assume that country music was a big part of your life growing up in that. So like who do you remember was like, because you're the definitive country fan in my life. So like who were some of because I remember, you know, growing up in that region as well. You know, my great grandpa would always have you know, the top 40 country radio on, and you know, I remember like the Dixie Chicks, the Dixie Chick, now just called the Chicks, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, Toby Keith, George Strait had some stuff on there. So like, you're a few years older than me. Who do you remember like first really getting you into country music? You
know, my dad really loved like Merle Haggard, George Jones, like Willie Whalen, like that era,
like the old, like the older guard,
older guard of country music. And so growing up in our house, like it was a lot of that mixed with like Otis Redding, Temptations, and then with my mom's like influence of like Carole King and the Eagles, and so Jim Croce. So like there was this really fun, eclectic like mix of music. But like when you're going anywhere, in Harlan County, we didn't have access to too many radio stations. Spotify was not a thing when I was a child. So like what I was listening to was top 40 country or top 40 pop, and those were like the avenues. Like there was no like weird college indie band that I could get into because I had no access to anything like that.
Right. Yeah.
So it was like well into like my early teens when I really started to like find different stuff and start branching out. And like once I got to high school, like I remember me and my cousin, who also loves music, like got onto this guy, Charlie Robinson. He just passed away last year, but his music, he had a couple videos and they would play on late at night on CMT. And we got into listening to it, like, wow, there's this whole other world outside of top 40 country that exists that we really latched onto. And so we got on to listen to Charlie Robinson, and then got on to listen to his brother Bruce, and then got on to listen to Jack Ingram, and then got on to listen to Cross Canadian Ragweed. And like this whole like other sect of music kind of cracked from, well, I like Brooks and Dunn, I like George Strait, I like Garth Brooks, I'm going to watch these videos, I'm going to consume this music. And then slowly that being a gateway drug to like, oh, here's this other thing that's a little bit more niche, oh, here's this other thing that's a little bit more niche, oh, here's this other thing. And then slowly start finding like what that thing is that I really respond to. And it's always like the good singer-songwriters, you know.
Well, that's what country music, you know, country musicians were really like some of the first elite songwriters, I think, because like pop, you know, back in the, you know, when recorded music was first starting, was like super, obviously with doo-wop, was like super basic. Literally just like, I miss my girlfriend, and like
my 16-year-old girlfriend.
Right. I miss my child bride. That's what they were all. All those guys were having sex with children. That's just a fact. I'm sorry. Even Elvis. But and it was like very just boilerplate, like, okay, we're going to use the same chords, but like country musicians were really the ones who are like, the storytellers. Like, I'm going to, write a song that makes people like visualize things. And they were really the ones who like kind of pushed music. I mean, you can make an argument like country music is really like how a lot of American music began in general. But of course blues and all that.
But they were two sides of the exact same coin.
Right.
Like it was just the marketing people said, the black folks are going to want to listen to this music, white folks are going to listen to this music, and so we'll call it country here, we'll call it blues here.
Right.
It was
literally a marketing ploy,
100%.
like a racial marketing ploy. That's really like they essentially diverge from the same. Yeah. Exactly. Which is like that's why it's so crazy that one of my friends Sophie, she got in an argument with this guy, which this is a hilarious story. This guy, I don't know if you've ever known guys like this. Oh, it's okay. It'll happen a million times. If it happens twice, though, we do kill you.
That's fine.
And but fair. I don't know if you ever known some of these guys who like think just like being mean is flirting. You're like, yep. And this guy came up to like her and her friend because Sophie was wearing a Beyonce shirt and was like, it's like, it's really fucked up that like Beyonce is like stealing country music from white people. And she was like, well, you realize black people invented country music, right? Yeah. And really all American music. Yeah. And then he also later in the conversation said she should show her tits more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was like, cool guy. It was a good guy. It was a good conversation. Yeah. But anyway, it's like, it's so crazy to me that like that's kind of been forgotten.
It's completely been forgotten. And, it's funny that we started talking so much about politics and let's make the hard turn into music. But like, we were talking about Tyler Childers and his great new album that just came out.
Yeah, which we're going to listen to a cut from it later on.
Great. Yeah. But he had come under fire from some on the right of being like, he's a hick lib now and he's forgotten where he's from. And it's like, no. Someone here has forgotten where they're from.
Exactly.
And it's not this guy who's talking about social issues and like socialist issues. Because again, that's what Eastern Kentucky was. It was about taking care of your neighbor. It was about being good to each other. It was about making sure everybody eats. And if not everybody eats, then we've got like recognizing that the boss is not your friend. The company is not your friend.
The police are not your friend.
Like, to have a Friends of Coal sticker on your truck is not a sign you are tapped into the region. It is a sign that you are a bootlicker. And like your granddads would be rolling over in their graves who fought and died fighting the police, fighting state troopers, fighting the Pinkertons, fighting these people for their chance to have a weekend, for their chance to have a living wage, to be paid in money and not scrip. Like, no, Tyler Childers knows exactly what he is.
You're the one who forgot where you're from.
Or the one that forgot where you're from.
100%. And that's you do have to, I mean, not commend it, but like the grift that the right has been able to do to turn the culture is like, it's one of the most impressive propaganda campaigns in human history. Like purely from an objective, obviously, like it's horrifically immoral and awful, but just purely from an objective standpoint, it is insane what they've been able to do.
100%. And to remove like the true Christian teachings from that like right sect of the population of like, well, Jesus talked almost never about gay people. He didn't talk about abortion. He didn't talk about guns. He didn't talk about it. He talked a whole lot about taking care of the alien, about taking care of your neighbor, about giving money about paying your taxes and about being a good person. He talked a lot about that. And you seem to just ignore all of those parts about it because it's not conveniently fitting into what your true ideology is, which is capitalism.
Yeah, like Jesus was, I mean, he was for democratization of resources. And this is not my opinion.
No,
this is
what's in the book.
Right. Yeah. It's like these are the words he said. It's easier for a camel to enter the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven.
He went into the temple and flipped over the money changers' tables because they were trading on holy land. And now how many mega churches have stores or coffee shops put right in there?
Oh my God, yeah. No, it's just but yeah, the transformation that's been done, and just like really the stealing of the legacy of these places. That's what it is.
It's the erasure of the importance that these people played in the movement of the left.
Yeah,
and to ignore that. The right's happy to, because they don't want you to ever think that workers were ever standing up for their own rights, standing up against their employers. They want you to, let's move right past all that. We gave you weekends because we wanted to give you weekends. We gave you clean food because obviously we wanted you to eat clean food, and inspecting our factories was an important thing to us. It's like, no. Your important thing was to make money, period. And then we banded together, the workers,
and said, we're not doing this shit anymore.
And then we got some change made. And as I think we were talking a little bit ago, like it is that the good of right now is it does seem like people are finally starting to realize, if we want change, if we want to hold on to these things, we have to fight for them.
Yeah. So. And to bring it back to music a little bit, it's like it is hilarious also, not only that, the idea that white people invented country music, but the idea that country music has always been this you have country musicians in stadium country now that are writing songs about how much they love the cops and how we need to stand by, and if you go back to not even that long ago, 70s and 80s, the country music was about fuck the pigs, we hate the law, they want to control us.
Yeah, you're gonna name drop Johnny Cash in a song, but you're gonna say try that in a small town. What? What is the divide here?
Yeah.
Because Johnny Cash wrote a lot of songs about. And sang a lot of songs about being anti-authority. It was kind of his thing.
Yeah, that was his whole shtick.
And now your whole thing is, no, daddy government's very good to me, so let's make sure that we're being good to the police at all times. Yeah. And it's like, boy, you've gotten away from what the reality was.
Yeah. I guess that's a good segue, how someone who grew up with quote unquote real country music, how do you feel about stadium country as it's called, this ultra pandering, ultra commercialized, do you listen to some of it? Do you
I don't listen to it, but it's for the most part it's just pop music, you know, particularly over the last 10 years we've seen this shift to where it's became pop music, or it's became hip hop that's just done by white people.
Yeah.
And so now all you racists, well, guess what? You can enjoy this because you don't have to worry about the troublesome black person who's singing it, because now it's a white guy rapping poorly. And it's
yeah.
Okay. So I think there's good pop country. There always is. There always has been, you know?
Casey Musgraves.
Casey Musgraves.
Example.
An incredible example. And you go back of it's not like the country I grew up with. It was well, Garth Brooks was told he wasn't country when he was making records, and everybody loves Garth. Glenn Campbell was told he wasn't making country when he was making records, and Glenn Campbell's incredible.
Yeah, that is actually true. That is kind of a hallmark of people that end up being pretty legendary, is they tell them oh, you're not making real country.
Right, 100%. And there's I think of Dierks Bentley still makes really good music. Casey Musgraves still makes really good music. George Strait's still out there doing the thing. You can still find people who make pop music, who make pop country or make radio country, and is still doing it really well.
Yeah.
But the problem is the ones that get celebrated, the ones that get talked about the most, are your Morgan Wallens and your Jason Aldeans, and just the lowest common denominator schlock that is.
Dude, remember when fucking Morgan Wallen did SNL and then posted the "Get Me Back to God"? You're flying in a private fucking
You're flying
jet.
in a private jet.
Yeah.
You took the money. You took their money, and then
you didn't have to do it.
No, you did it, and then you got real pissy and then walked off and got your private jet and said, well, I'm going to go back to my mansion on a hill.
I'm going to go back to the sticks, a.k.a. my mansion. Where does he live? Probably Nashville.
Suburbs of Nashville, yeah.
Yeah. It's fuck off, dude.
Way to stand up for the little man of Franklin, Tennessee, in your $15 million home.
Yeah. And it's look, honestly, it kind of Morgan Wallen's one of those guys that frustrates me because he is a very, very talented person, like legitimately. And then he chooses to like make this like slop basically just because it makes a lot of money. Yeah, Morgan Wallen, come on the show sometime. I would have Morgan Wallen on.
Sure, having backflip in here. You kept talking about that last week with Benson Boone, and I think that should be your thing of like having backflip in here. That's the thing. Like you get everyone just the invite is
that's the intro.
You can backflip in. Like the cameras weren't running, you didn't see me do it.
Right? Yeah. He did actually a triple backflip, but
which is impressive in this tight space.
Unfortunately. So we can't see it. Anyway. We've talked a lot about politics.
We talked a lot about politics and a little bit about Tyler Childers.
A little bit about music. But we like to keep it light here at the Test Press. How would you like to play a little game?
I would love to play a game.
Okay. So one of a reoccurring joke online is that country artists can have some pretty ridiculous names. And country bands especially can have some pretty ridiculous names. So I have 10 names here, and you're going to tell me if these are real country artists or if I made them up.
Ooh, okay. I love it. Let's test it.
So, I like it. Let's test it. Perfect. All right. Number 1, Amanda Platt and the Honeycutters.
Amanda Platt and the Honeycutters. I'm going to say Amanda Platt and the Honeycutters. That's a real band.
It is a real band. There we go.
All right.
That first one was a little easy. All right. Number 2, Travis Dunk. Travis Dunk.
God, I really wish I want Travis Dunk to be a real person doing real music. I can't imagine there's a Travis. Is there a Travis Dunk out there? My official answer is no. There's no Travis.
Is that
Dunk.
Your final answer?
My final answer is Travis Dunk is made up.
Travis Dunk is indeed made up.
But
wouldn't that be awesome if there was a Travis Dunk?
Yeah, look. If your name's not Travis Dunk and you are breaking into the industry right now, name yourself Travis Dunk.
Yeah, right now, if you want to start a country music project, name yourself Travis Dunk. That's free.
Yes, look, you just have be who you are. Jerry Jeff Walker, his name wasn't Jerry Jeff Walker. He was from upstate New York, and he changed his name because he felt like in his heart he was a Jerry Jeff Walker, and guess what he was. And so if you out there, if you think you are Travis Dunk, by God, you are.
I actually, in my research, that's something I found out. A lot of like country artists with real names are not their real names at all. Which I think is very funny. All right, number 3, Beans Wilson and the Truck Stop Bullshit.
Beans Wilson and the Truck Stop Bullshit. I'm just getting visions of somebody opening for Reverend Horton Heat, and I'm going to say this is a real band.
It is fake.
That's a damn shame. Again, damn shame, because that would be a good in that rockabilly style. That you could get in there with that one. Yeah,
easily. All right, number 4, Hayseed Dixie.
Hayseed Dixie is a real band, and they do like bluegrass covers.
Them.
I'm familiar with Hayseed
Wow.
Dixie. They started doing bluegrass covers of AC/DC.
Because I went obscure, but I should have known that like you would know at least one person on this list.
And so very much pull up their version when you have a moment of "You Shook Me All Night Long," and
let's listen to it right now.
A+.
All right, Hayseed Dixie.
Uh-huh.
This is the cover of "You Shook Me All Night Long" by Hayseed Dixie. This is crazy.
She kept the motor clean. She was the best damn woman that I ever seen. She had the side eyes telling me no lies, knocking me out with them American thighs, taking more than her share, had me fighting for air. She told me to come, but I was already there. Yeah, the walls was a shaking, the earth was a quaking, my mind was aching. We was making it new. Shook me all night long. Let me tell you
This is fucking good. That's so crazy. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is fucking insane.
Yeah, they're the real deal.
And I also see we have to play this. They have their top played song is a cover of Gin and Juice.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a cover of Gin. The rest of the podcast, we're just going to play their covers. This is a snippet of Gin and Juice covered by Hayseed Dixie.
With so much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard being Snoop, the old double G. But somehow, some way, keep coming up funky shit nearly every single day. And may I kick a little something for the G's and make a few ends as I breeze through. Cause it's 2 in the morning and the party's still jumping. Cause my mama ain't home. I got bitches in the living room getting it on, and they ain't leaving till 6 in the morning. So what you wanna do? I got a pocket full of rubbers and my homeboys do too. So turn out the lights, close the doors, but what? We don't love them whores, and we're gonna smoke an ounce to this. Ease up, hold down while you motherfuckers bounce there. And I'm rolling down the street, smoking in, sipping on gin and juice, laid back. Money on my mind. Rolling down the street, smoking in, sipping on gin and juice.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man.
That is wild.
Yeah.
That's actually legitimately that's pretty. Like I was thinking this was going to be terrible, but like it's not. It's pretty solid. They also have covers of Pumped Up Kicks, Don't Stop Believin', Eye of the Tiger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They really narrowed in on a niche here.
Yeah.
That's tremendous.
Yeah.
So go
Look, I wouldn't send you down this detour if it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
Rylan.
No, for
Like,
sure. Hayseed Dixie, come on the show sometime.
I know my responsibility as the country guy coming on here to ease you into the world.
Yeah.
And so I know that if I'm going to give you an endorsement, it's got to be a solid endorsement.
Yeah.
So.
I love it. I love it. All right, we'll do let's do some more here. All right, number 5.
Okay.
Healthy white baby.
No way.
Is that your final answer?
Healthy white baby?
Healthy white baby.
I am terrified if that is real, and so it probably is because of 2025. I'm going to say officially no.
It is a real band who has released music.
I don't care for that.
I don't like it.
I'm uncomfortable on numerous levels. No.
All right. All right, we'll do a couple more here. All right. Doug Skeet.
Doug Skeet?
Doug Skeet.
No.
That is fake.
Yeah.
I came up with that one last night. It's embarrassing how hard I laughed at my own joke.
Mm-hmm. It's great. And again, like Travis Dunk, like it's too good to, like, that one's too good to be real. Like,
yeah.
That's too precious for this world.
All right. And finally,
Mm-hmm.
Travis Dunk Jr.
The junior. Yeah, now Travis Dunk Jr. real. Senior? No. The junior. No. Of course it's not. You can't have the senior.
Also fake. Yeah, that would be really funny if there was no Travis Dunk, but there was a Travis Dunk.
That would be now. That's what you should, next time you play this game, throw in one of those. And be like, senior never did anything, but junior,
finding a real one would actually be
that would be incredible.
Yeah, doing the reverse where like the real, like the junior is that would be fun.
Yeah.
Well, you did pretty well. I think you got all of them but one.
I did okay.
Yeah, good job. Good job, Jesse. Yeah. That was a very worthy. The Hayseed Dixie was a very worthy detour.
I thought so.
Yeah. All right. So you are a country music fan.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. I want to. So this is not really a game. I want to try a little different of a challenge. Okay. So we were talking about metal last night.
We were. Yep. We were.
And you don't listen to a ton of metal.
Not a ton.
And I
no.
assume you don't listen to any extreme metal.
No.
So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play you an extreme metal song.
Okay.
I was thinking, what song could I play that I think could actually get someone into extreme metal?
Okay.
And like, what's the most like extreme metal song that could get someone?
That could
into
be the intro off ramp.
Yeah,
I got you.
I think I found an answer.
Great.
And I want, while we're listening to this, I would like you to try to think of a song. What's the most like country song that you think a country person, like a person that doesn't listen to any country,
Mm-hmm.
that would like?
Okay.
So, this is a song by the band Children of Bodom. One of my favorite bands of all time. It's called Under Grass and Clover.
Okay.
And I think that you might actually like this one.
Okay.
All right, this is Under Grass and Clover by Children of Bodom.
It's going on the
All
workout
right.
playlist.
That was, well, really?
Yep, it's going on the workout playlist. Great.
Damn.
Yeah, going right to the gym now. Let's go.
Fuck.
Let's go
Yeah, that's
flip
awesome,
some cars.
man. Yeah, Children of Bodom are one of my favorite bands of all time. The lead singer actually died, unfortunately, a few years ago. Yeah. I never got to see them live, which sucks. But, yeah, this whole album, Hex, it was their last album. It came out in 2019. I would check it out. It's like, it's very melodic. It's like it's for extreme metal. It's pretty accessible. Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs ever, probably.
Great. That was a great entry point.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
So I know I put you on the spot a little bit. Is there a song that you think a non-country lover that you think you could get them into like hardcore country?
Hardcore country, maybe not, because people have such a built-in, I listen to everything but country music. And so if you start getting too many fiddles or steel guitars, that high lonesome sound immediately, there are just going to be a portion of the population, because they're just too cool
That's
for
immediately
school.
like,
That's
nope.
like, nah, that's not for me.
Yeah.
I would say true country artist who made a song that I think is very accessible for everyone is Margot Price, from not her newest album, but I believe the one before, Nothing On But the Radio, which is a really, really great, not just country song, but kind of just a vibe. Like, it's a really, really good song. And I think that's one that you can poison pill that into people and be like, oh, do you like this? Well, maybe I can get you onto this other Margot Price song.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get you onto this other. Maybe now I can shift you a little bit and push you a little bit more to where you're like, oh, no, this one's okay. and also this other one and this other. Okay, maybe I'm going to pull back on that blanket statement.
Yeah.
Bit.
All right. So we'll see if we can convert some country haters out there. This is Radio featuring Sharon Van Etten by Margot Price. Oh, wow. This is not how you expect a country song.
To take some time now, and I wanna turn my phone off. I just wanna be alone. Just let me be alone today. I'm saving all my extra money. Go out, get what they never buy me. Why do I feel so sick and tired? I'm sick and tired every day. People try to push me around, run my name straight in the ground. I can hear them tune them out, and I turn them way down low. The only thing I have on is the radio. Only thing I have on is the radio. Don't get confused about how I feel. Let 'em pull you
Wow.
about what is real.
That was Radio by Margot Price featuring Sharon Van Etten. That's a fucking banger.
Yeah, it's a banger.
And it definitely has like some country-ishness, like the very trademark country harmonies, like the acoustic guitar sort of panned in the like it definitely is like a country song.
Yeah.
Like it's not one of those like we were talking about
Right.
earlier, it's like a pop song that's just branded country.
Yeah.
But that is a bop. I'm actually going to add that to my library.
There we go. Yeah.
I'm going to check out this whole album, actually.
I love that album.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always think that they're like the people who are like, oh, I don't like country music. Like, well, I'll play First Aid Kit. And you're like, oh, I love First Aid Kit. And it's like, well, that's very country influence. It's like I've got a friend who's from Kentucky, and she was like, oh, I love all music, but I don't mess around with country. And I'm like, okay. And then years went by, and then I saw her post something about going to a Damien Rice show, and I'm like, he's just like yay far removed.
Yeah, it's like
from,
you're
like,
you're getting real close.
Yeah,
there.
and it's like I get what you're at your soul pushing against.
Yeah.
But you're missing that you actually do kind of like this music, and there's probably others out there that you're going to like,
Yeah. Well, I think it's just I think for a lot of people it really is just like social pressure, honestly.
Yeah.
Like it's just like they don't want to be perceived as a person that likes country.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of like obnoxious people that like have you like been around this like I don't know if this was sort of a thing for you. Well, you were actually growing up in Kentucky, but like there was this weird phenomenon of like suburban kids in my high school
100%.
that got obsessed with country and like would wear work boots and drive trucks. And it's like your dad's a neurosurgeon and lives in a $700,000 house. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
And some of them would even like do like slightly like fake country accents. It was bizarre. Like it was to this day, I don't get it. It was very weird.
I've seen that a lot of places. I think it kind of rolls off of me because like for lesser like hillbilly culture gets stolen all the time.
Yeah.
But like Carhartt is now something you see.
It's like almost like a high fashion brand in a way, or like well not high, but like a cool street fashion brand.
And it was the clothes of people where to go hunting.
Yeah, it's like
it was the shirts that the poorest kids I went to high school with would wear all the time.
Right.
And
it's like their dad would give them when they grew into it.
The same thing a few years ago with like the Champion sweatshirts. It's like Champion was up until very recently just the brand you got at Walmart because that's what was at Walmart. And like whether it's PBR or trucker hats or like any part, like it's constantly getting pulled.
It is actually very true. Like I feel like like hipster culture like
constantly
borrows
pulls.
a lot of stuff from like hillbilly culture.
Whether it's wearing camo, whether it's NASCAR jackets, whether it's again trucker hats, PBR, it's all these things that were laughed at up until the moment you decided, yeah, we're gonna make it cool though. It's like, well, you're taking what you laughed at us 5 years ago for, and now you're changing it, and you're going to charge people
Right.
5 times the amount of money.
Yeah.
Because now it's cool, and you've taken that thing away from the people who were just wearing it because that's what they did.
And it's even extra fucked because I feel like a lot of that stuff starts from people wearing it ironically. Like it's like, oh, look at me, like I'm a stupid hick. Like, look, I'm wearing a Carhartt jacket, and then people are like, oh, that like, you know, conventionally attractive hip dude is wearing Carhartt. Like I'm gonna wear Carhartt too.
100%.
And then it becomes like a genuine trend. Like, but it started as basically some idiot like making fun of people.
The mullet, like
the
mullet right now.
Yeah, it started as like the funny, ironic dude would like have a mullet, and now it's like a standard fucking.
There was an article in GQ that I saw GQ post this week talking about Jacob Elordi and Oscar Isaac. Like, look at them with their cool little baby mullets, and it's like, oh god,
it's like kids used to get beat up for having this.
It was the Kentucky waterfall. It was the joke that you were the poor, backwards, don't know any better, NASCAR loving hick kid because you've got a mullet, and it's like, no, but now Jacob Elordi's got one,
so now
it's pretty
sick.
freaking cool.
Yeah.
And where were you all this whole time? Like, where were you this whole time, man?
Yeah.
It's this constant borrowing, and it's this constant, we'll take from it, we'll make fun of it, but we'll also take it, and then we'll make it our own, and then when somebody from outside the region makes it, then it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
And so they do that, and I think they do that in entertainment as well, and they do it without ever completely skipping over the part where you just let that person do the thing, where you just let that person elevate and become something else. And it's like, no, it's either you're the joke or we've taken that from you and we don't need you anymore.
Right. And obviously, like, probably black culture is the biggest example of that. Yeah, I mean,
100%.
that's been done literally. Well, I mean, literally from like the beginning of the American music industry. Like, basically the modern, like, record labels were basically invented to steal money from black people.
Yes.
Like, just straight up.
Yeah.
Like the modern music industry as we know it was created to like steal stuff from black people. And it is very frustrating to see, you know, these people like, you know, make money off of what was once laughed at just because there's like, you know, these like cool quote unquote people doing it now.
But, you know, we spent so much time talking about politics up top, but like creating art is always political.
Oh,
like,
yeah, inherently
it is. And like you look back at the history of the world, and it is just a constant cycle of people making beautiful things that aren't appreciated, and the moment they die, that rich people can now own that thing. Now it becomes something that's worth something. You know, you look at how many, whether it's Poe or whoever, like how many writers, how many artists died penniless, and then Kafka, the moment they're gone, oh, they're brilliant. Now I own their work, and now I'm happy to tell you, now we can make money off of it, and we don't have to worry about the pesky artist doing anything, getting in our way. Yeah. So, like, inevitably, I think whether you're making music, whether you're writing movies, like, there is a political aspect to it at all times.
Oh, 100%. So we talked a little bit earlier on about who you used to listen to growing up. Who are you listening to now in the country vein or in the not country vein also? Yeah,
growing up, it started out, like I said, a lot of Garth Brooks, a lot of Brooks and Dunn. That sort of Billy Joel was a big part of my childhood. Eagles, and you know, a lot of that has just, like I said, slowly started morphed out from there. You know, this new Tyler Childers album, I absolutely love. Abby Hamilton, who I also said, mentioned to you, she's another that came up from Kentucky and is absolutely killer. She released this album a couple years, 2023, I believe, called The Number One Zookeeper in the San Diego Zoo. And it's such a sick name for both a song and an album. Yeah. And it's like, well, that song has to be terrible. It's like, no, that song's actually kind of like a real sad banger. But like that album is a real comfort to me because it's this kind of resilience of an album of like, let's push through and let's pull it up. So that album, the first track, Lucky, is one that really kind of gets in and just gets into my bones all the time.
This is the first track off the album Number One Zookeeper of the San Diego Zoo by Abby Hamilton. The song is Lucky.
your songs in airport bars. It's old men shooting Irish car bombs. She thought she'd have it all figured out. She thought she'd have it all figured out. Takes her tips to the speedway. Pack of smokes and 10 on 8. A handful of scratch-offs. And all the rest to the Powerball. She's just out here trying to get lucky. And we all just trying to get lucky. Come on and throw me something. It all can mean nothing. Don't drop me on a limb just to watch it rain. Oh, for heaven's sake.
Wow.
Good one, right?
That's a good track.
Yeah.
That was Lucky by Abby Hamilton. Yeah, that one's more, I think, on the edge of like country folkish
Yeah.
kind of, but no, it's that was a really good track. I'm gonna have to check out that album.
Right on. For me, a lot of like growing up with like Jim Croce and John Prine, growing up with these storytellers, when
Yeah.
you're from Appalachia, like that is a storytelling culture. I'm always looking for the storytellers.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for the people like Charlie Robinson that I talked about at the very beginning of this, who was the guy that like really started like opening doors to me seeing other different music that wasn't on the radio. He's just such a wonderful storyteller, and he had this song called Lovin' County, and it was like just this pulpy noir death country song about somebody getting murdered, and it's like, man, this is out there, and like
Yeah.
you can go find this if you want to.
Yeah, like there's country music about wild shit
Yeah.
out there. Yeah.
And so like that really started getting me down that road of like, okay, who's telling these stories? Who's telling like fun, weird, sad, but uplifting kind of stories about not about being outside the mainstream,
Yeah.
about being an outsider. And so that's kind of the thing that I'm always latching on to when I'm looking for something, whether it's in the country space or outside of the country space. And those have been the ones that I think have really jumped out to me of late. Hayes Carl, one of my favorite artists, just released a new album a couple weeks ago. He's got a great song called Progress of Man that's on there. Definitely more in the range of like real country
Yeah.
music. But I think this generation who has access to Apple Music and Spotify, like, you don't have an excuse anymore to listen to bad music. And I think
yeah.
that's what aggravates me about the arena rock or hip hop of country music is you don't have to, like, growing up in the 90s, I had to settle for whatever
Yeah, right.
was on the radio.
Yeah, but you can listen to literally anything ever recorded.
Literally
basically.
anything in the world that you want to find, you can get it right there. It's on your computer. It's
Yeah.
on your phone at any given time. And you just have to put in one more prompt and it will get you towards something deeper or cooler or more different. Like, you don't have to eat the slop that gets shoveled to you. Like,
Yeah.
you can choose a different path. I'm never looking down on somebody because of the music they listen to, because like art is art and like what you like is what you like. Like,
Sure,
I
yeah.
don't believe in guilty pleasures. Like,
I agree. Yeah.
when it comes, like, unless you're doing something illegal or hurting someone,
Yeah.
like, as long as like
You like what you like.
you
yeah.
like what you like, and it doesn't matter if it's Bon Jovi or if it's Tim McGraw or like whatever uncool thing you like. You don't have to feel like, oh no, I kind of watch 90 Day Fiance when nobody's around. That's my little, where I like wrestling. Like, no, whatever it is you like like it. Like,
Yeah.
take the guilty part out of it. Like, if you just want to go home and watch 5 hours of pro wrestling, you go do that if that's the thing that's bringing you joy.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you've got to go out in public and be like, I mean, I'm too cool, but like sometimes. And it's like, no, just
Yeah.
accept that we like the things that we like. And yes, obviously I like pro wrestling, otherwise I wouldn't be talking about it. But like,
You're just trying to get your wife to stop judging. You're like, it's okay to like whatever you want to like.
well, I think for, again, to go back to the Appalachianness of it, like, it was one of those things of like, I spent so much time having to bend over backwards to fit into different categories, to not be immediately judged. Because, like, it's the thing of, like, the moment someone hears your accent, they automatically start putting together a picture of what they think you are. And I think so many people from Appalachia try to run from that. It's part of losing the accent. It's part of, like, accepting whatever the broadest version of pop culture and letting that in. And I think a lot of people turn away from their roots, turn away from bluegrass, or turn away from the Tyler Childers stuff. They turn away from that in hopes of, oh, I've done the J.D. Vance thing. I've completely abandoned my roots, and now don't you love me because I'm the monkey who figured out how to put a suit on. So aren't I
Right,
the
right.
specialist boy? And just like what you like, just appreciate what made you and where you're from. And we're all made by a variety of things, whether it's NASCAR or pro wrestling or whatever random uncool thing it is. That's part of you.
Yeah.
And the music you like is part of you. So, like, be comfortable saying, yeah, I like AC/DC. Is it cool? Not really, but I like it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just the thing, and it helped inform me and help me make the art that I make. You
Yeah.
know?
Anyway, before we get out of here, I do want to talk a little bit about, obviously, the last part of the show is typically we go over the artist's music, but you are an artist in your own right. You're a writer. So you wrote on Jessica Jones. You
did.
said at the top of the show.
Yep.
And the quote, I typically say a lyric from the person's song at the top of the show. The quote actually was not a lyric, but it was a line from your recent short film called Good Daughter.
Yeah.
Do you want to give people a short synopsis of your most recent work?
Yeah, Good Daughter. It's about a con artist who makes her living by ripping off old people by pretending to be ripping off old people with dementia by pretending to be their daughter. And so obviously she's not the best person in the world, but also she's kind of providing a service to these people, because it was something that the director and myself, we both had relatives who had gone through Alzheimer's. And the thing about Alzheimer's, about dementia, is the moment people start to drift away, their family members really just cut them off. And not I really don't think it's out of malice. It's just
It's out of pain.
They're not going to know who I am. I'm
Yeah.
just going to sit there. They're going to be confused the whole time. We're going to get 2 minutes of quality time, and the person that I know and love is gone. Like, but this con artist, like, she is showing up. She is doing the work. So yeah, she's taking a little something from them, but she's also providing a service. She's also doing something that nobody else is doing.
So what she did is good.
So-
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but no, I mean, it is. I think that's what I watched the short last night, and I do think that's kind of what it's a little bit of, I mean, I don't want to say like a moral gray, because it is obviously clearly wrong what she's doing, but yeah, it does add an extra layer of complexity to it, that, like, you know, their actual children aren't visiting these people, but like she is there for them.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I was so lucky to work on this project with Rachel Annette Helson, who is the director, who is just such a great talent, both at framing and like getting amazing killer performances out of the talent. And we were really lucky to get Samantha Sloyan from House of Usher and all the Mike Flanagan stuff on as our lead, who just absolutely
She was awesome.
crushed it.
Yeah, she was awesome.
It was like, as a writer, we always have in our head when we do our little typey types and put it onto the page, like, oh, this is how this is going to come out. This is how somebody's going to deliver this. And then she, like, every single thing she did was different. Like, and every time it was better. Like, she made so many great choices. And part of that is she's a fantastic actor. Part of that is Rachel's a really great director. But they were able to take this material that I wrote and really liked on the page, and like, oh boy, I didn't know it was this thing though.
Yeah,
And
really elevated it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Samantha is so great at bringing humanity to really despicable people. And she does that in like all the Mike Flanagan's Midnight Mass. She does that in The House of Usher. These people who should be deplorable in every sense.
They should suck. Yeah.
They should suck. But I kind of cheer for them because I kind of get the pain that she has.
And that's very hard to do as
It's
an actor because it's such a fine line. Because you don't want to play them as like too good because then it's like, well, this is like making this person who's bad look,
Right.
Yeah. But you also don't want to play it like, too where they're like, like an evil,
scheming,
like
mustache
Mr.
twirling.
Burns.
Yeah. It's such a fine line to walk. And like, when you create any art, it's out of your control the moment you release it.
Oh yeah.
But like it is that one thing you really want to make sure that you're not feeding into it in any way, shape, or form, so you don't end up with like a Joker situation where all the wrong people got all the wrong messages from it, and just like, no, that wasn't what we were trying to do. We just you just justified it too well, and now and now everybody thinks he's the hero, and that was not what we were trying to do at all. Like it is the problem with like good satire, like whether it's Anchorman or like Eastbound and Down, where like there's a part of the fandom who's just like, you know what? I think that guy is pretty awesome because he's funny. It's like, oh no, that was the opposite of the message.
Yeah, or like Fight Club is probably the ultimate example of like all it is like, I'm Tyler Durden in this like fucked up modern world. It's like
no.
It's like an American Psycho too. It's like Patrick Bateman's supposed to be a loser.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to make fun of him.
Yeah. Like no, he's the paragon of a man. It's like, good Lord, no, dude.
Yeah, he's like this loser who's like having deluded fantasies of murdering people because like he's so unsatisfied with his pathetic life.
Yeah. Did you just push just a little bit deeper, man? You're so close. You're almost there. But
but because I've always thought that like screenwriters and musicians are kindred spirits. Also, I think stand-up comedians are some of the closest relatives of musicians. So what kind of stuff, like when you sit down to write, I guess because with music is not inherently story-based, but I've always been sort of a story-based writer. Like I sort of come up with narratives. So I guess like, I mean, this is a bit of an open-ended question. Like, what inspires you to get an idea, or like, what's the beginnings of a script for you?
It always kind of varies. It's interesting that you mentioned the way that you begin to think about things when you write. Years ago, the very first film I ever wrote and executive produced was this independent feature called Surviving Guthrie. And we got a couple songs from a guy named Dustin Burnett, who at the time was the lead of this like awesome rock band called The October. Their stuff's not anywhere, but he later on he moved to Nashville, became a producer. You might know his work more from Zayd Wolf, because he was Zayd Wolf.
Wow.
But worked with him on this very first thing I did when he was, a guy, just a kid from Paducah who my buddy knew, who had this really awesome rock and bar band. And I remember he came to the premiere, and after the premiere we were talking. He was like, man, I can't wrap my mind around how you tell a 95-minute story. And I'm like, I can't wrap my mind around how you tell a 3.5-minute story.
Wow. That's very...
We both are approaching this trying to tell a story, trying to tell a narrative, beginning, middle, and end. And for me, I need 95 pages to do that. And for you, you need 3 minutes to do that.
Wow, that's actually I've never thought about it that way, but that actually is it's like two totally opposite sides of the same coin, kind of.
We're both thinking of how we can tell a story,
right, and how we can convey human emotion,
how we can make this connect with an audience, make them see the thing that we're trying to do. And I need 60 to 120 pages to do that, and a songwriter needs 3 minutes.
And it's crazy how we both kind of view what the other does as like
impossible.
Right.
How do you do that? I can't do that. Like who on earth could do it? But it's just how your brain's wired. And like, so for me, when I start out writing something, I'm never starting out from a place of like, is this going to be commercial? Is this going to be something that people are like, I start out of like, what's something that I want that doesn't currently exist? And so, I wish this film existed. And so, like the thing, I did this book adaptation a couple years ago that never went, but right after the book it really kind of zapped me, and I was like, I just want to tell a simple, like Southern Gothic ghost story. That's what and I was like, it doesn't really, the thing I'm looking for doesn't really exist out there. Like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go write it. And so it's usually me like having that itch of like, oh, you know what would be fun? This thing. And then I go look for it. I'm like, nobody did that. So I'm going to go and see if I can fill that gap.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I feel like that's a similar thing with music too, is like, because sometimes it does start with this like profound idea, like, oh, I want to tell like, a story of like loss and grief. But like sometimes also ideas are just fucking cool.
Yeah.
And it's the same with music. Like, yeah, sometimes I like have this narrative of like, this is a song about, XYZ, whatever. But sometimes like that's a sick riff.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to make something around that. And like sometimes it really is that simple.
Yeah.
Like, Southern Gothic ghost story. Like that sounds badass. I'm going to fucking write it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's usually where I start approaching things from. And like, everything I do is informed by where I'm from. Like everything I write that's not like for something is set in Eastern Kentucky because that's where I'm from. And those, again, to tell these kind of outsider-ish stories. But yeah, I think what got me on this path of being really telling stories through film was like I said, I came into country music. I came into genre looking for stories, looking for the storytellers. And there was this great country singer-songwriter called Chris Knight, who's from a place called Slaughters, Kentucky. And he talks with an accent so heavy that I can barely understand him. But God, his music's so good. And it's all Southern Gothic, deep, dark, like a lot of people getting murdered. Was that an
influence for this movie in some way? Or it's
been influenced, like his music has been influenced for a lot of things. Like, oh, I want to get this tone that he's got down for this. And it was like, there's a song that he's got called, what is it? Long Dark Highway. Yeah. That, is this kind of ghost story about this drug deal gone bad, and then one of them kills the other, and then they go and haunt the other person. And it's like,
yeah,
all right, like that's such a vibe. Like, I want to get that same kind of vibe of like being like truly tormented by the sins of your past.
Yeah.
And so that was the thing.
Literally
tormented by the sins of your past. And so that was the thing that really like brought into the ghost story feature of just like, oh, I want us to see that haunting of your past on screen. And I can't write a song like Chris Knight can, but what I can do is write a 95-minute film that gets into the sins of the past following us around.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I could talk to you literally for hours, as we have before many times, but unfortunately time is linear, so we do have to get out of here. All of Jesse's stuff, we'll put the link to Good Daughter for you to watch in the description.
Throw that up. It's it's a fun one.
Yeah, it's a great one. Seriously, go watch it. Do you have anything else you want to plug?
Nah, man, I'm just out here trying to sell stuff like everybody else, and
yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, well, Jesse, thank you so much for being on the show. And if you don't normally listen to country music, go check out some of the stuff that Jesse put us on to today, and maybe even go to a country show at your town. And if you do, wear ear protection. Once you lose your hearing, you cannot get it back. So get some earplugs. All right, folks. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me.